So you can now pick out carousels inside Canva, feed the link of those carousels to Claude. Claude will do all the design and edits for you, and it will feed it back into Canva. So what this means is you can make nice looking carousels without having to do anything yourself. So let me show you a template that I chose earlier. This is about daily productivity habits. And I chose it because it has a bunch of images in here, and I wanted to see if Claude could work with that. So for example, you see here, it's talking about making your bed, journaling, avoiding your phone, reading, and drinking water. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to give it to Claude and repurpose it for something else. So instead of productivity, what I chose is mindfulness. So this is what Claude gave me, small habits that help you notice the present. Let's go to the pictures. So instead of making your bed, sitting on your bed before you stand, this small habit helps you settle your whole day. You ease into a calm new day. So whereas before it says write down 3 things you're grateful for, it now says write down 3 things you sense right here, which is pretty good. Avoiding your phone when you wake up, which I think we could admit is probably a good idea. And this last one's kind of funny because I had to reach a little bit. So initially it was saying drink water after you wake up, which is a good habit. Now sip water slowly and linger, which again, if you're trying to stay present, it's probably not a bad idea. So all in all, not bad. And all I did was I took this template, I shared the link with Claude, and I basically just told it repurpose this to make mindfulness content. You'll see as we do it, you do have the option to write things yourself or make any edits, but for this one, I didn't really bother. So if you're looking to do this yourself, you don't need a paid membership for Claude or Canva, but what you do need to do is connect your Claude account to Canva. So all you have to do is go into your Claude login, go down here to the bottom left, and click settings. Now you're going to go down here to connectors, click customize. And as you can see right here, I'm already connected to Canva, but what you would do is just click this plus symbol, go to browse connectors, and type in Canva. And it shows up right there. You just click it and you press connect. And what this connection does is it allows Claude to access your Canva account. So what will happen is you'll grab a template, you'll share a link to that template, and Claude will make all the edits, and it will send those edits back to Canva. And so now that we're connected, let's pick out a template inside Canva. All you have to do is go to the left here, click on templates, and I want to make these Instagram carousels, so I'm going to click on Instagram post. So now I can scroll through all the templates. You can get a little more specific if you want to inside the search, or you can even pick a style and even a language. But I'm just going to browse around, find one that I like. So I think I'm going to choose this one. The reason why is because 1, I think it looks nice. 2, it also has some personal info there, and I want to show you how the prompt that we'll be using is going to handle that. And by the way, if you don't have a paid Canva account, you can still pick out different carousel templates, but you will be more limited in the templates that you can select from. So I just want to point that out. But because I'm going to go with this one, all I do is I click customize this template. And because I've done that, it's now added this to my Canva projects. You can see there's a URL. I'm going to be giving that URL to the prompt. But as you can see, this is kind of like a corporate business focused carousel template, talking about skills that you need to be successful in that realm, clear team talk, goal focus, mind shift. I'm not going to use it for that. I hate that stuff. But considering I like to cover AI, I think this would be a good template to add some AI content in there. And so now that we've picked out the template, let's go over the prompt that we're going to be giving to Canva. So what you can see here at the top, we have a place where we can add the URL link for the template we just chose. And then it's a set of instructions that we're giving to Canva so that we can give it a content idea, you can give it a script, you can give it whatever. First, it will make sure that it matches the number of words that you see in the initial template. So to give an example, the starter page has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. And we want an approximate match for the words on each page. Otherwise, you're going to run into additional lines. It's going to start to look messy. And also, you just don't want a really wordy carousel, which it probably would do if you didn't tell it not to. As you can see, it even has the number of line breaks, which is very useful. Again, just making sure that it looks very similar to the initial template, but with different content. We have an image analysis. We're not using that in this one because there aren't any particular images, but you notice in the last template I showed, there was images of the bed, there was images of the water, and it repurposed content around that. So if you do have a template with images, it's good to have that. Otherwise, those images aren't really going to make sense. And then finally, the prompt instructs Claude to ask you 2 questions after you share this template. So 1, what is the script going to be about? So you give it a topic, you give it bullet points, you can give it the exact words if you wanted. And then 2 is the personalization. So right here, you got a name, you've got a year, you've got a website. It's going to give me the option to change this so that I can give it my name. If it was a different year, I could change the year, and I'll probably just remove the website because I do not have a website. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to grab this link from the top, go back over to my prompt, and I'm going to replace this with the link. Now all I have to do is copy this, start a new chat, and paste it in here. Now I'm using Opus 4.8 for this, probably unnecessary. I just like to make sure that it gets it right. You probably use a lesser model, especially if you don't have a Claude membership and you're worried about hitting your rate limits. But anyway, now just press send and I'll let Claude do its thing. So Claude is now finished analyzing the template. You see, notice there are no images, that's fine. And right here you can see it's broken down all the text. It's noted the number of words, the number of lines. And it came back to me with 2 questions. Number 1, what do you want the carousel to be about? And number 2, it noticed the personalization. So for example, it's asking, do I want to replace the name, which I do, the year, which I'll keep the same, the website, which I'll remove, and then the swipe queue as well, which I'm going to keep. And it even gave me the option to replace the name with an Instagram handle. I think I'm going to do that. So this is the prompt I'm giving it right here. I decided, considering it's already kind of corporate based, I'd make the content about AI, using AI in the workplace to kind of get ahead, automate your mundane, repeatable tasks, basically so you can save time and do more important things. And then for 2, I gave it all the personalized information. So I said use an Instagram handle instead, @bensalty, keep the year as 2026, remove the website entirely, and keep that swipe thing. And it's going to come up with a plan for me now, and then see if I want to make any edits or if I approve. Probably just approve it because I'm lazy. So Claude came back now with content for each carousel slide. I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to see how it ends up looking. And you can see it's also outlined all those changes for the personalized information. So all I do now is I type approved, give it to Claude, and it's going to make all those changes for me inside Canva. So Claude's now done making the changes inside Canva. It's given me an outline of the slides and given me a link to the slides itself. So I'm going to open that link. This is what we have right here. You see it has the @handle that I gave it. It kept 2026, removed the website. We still have swipe. So stop wasting time on boring tasks. So a good punchy first line. Now it's talking about noting all the boring repeatable tasks, planning the steps ahead for it, and then building out your AI workflows for that. Win back time. And finally, take the lead, spend those hours on creative work that puts you clearly ahead. So overall, not too bad. Obviously, I could have changed it in Claude initially to modify it however I wanted. I could have gone back and forth with Claude. I could have given it specific things that I wanted it to say instead. But I just wanted to showcase how it works, so I was being pretty lazy. And obviously now also, if I wanted to make changes inside Canva itself, I could do that. But essentially what we've done here is we've made some nice looking Instagram carousels and had to put really zero thought into the whole process. We're able to use one of Canva's templates and then have Claude write all the material for us. This could be especially useful if you're trying to make a lot of content across social media and you don't want to spend too much time designing or writing the content yourself. So anyway, I hope this video was useful, and until next time.